Here we're going to talk about quadrilaterals. You see quadrilaterals all the time. The shape of your phone, your computer, boxes, or any four-sided figure. Many quadrilaterals are named by the length of their sides, the measure of their angle, or some other attribute, like parallelism. So we would say that two lines are parallel if they are in the same plane and do not intersect. Remember, a plane is part of a surface in 2D, where if we have parallel lines, here they'll never intersect. Parallel lines are identified using one or more arrowheads in the middle of the line, shown here. So if we call this line L and this M, we would say that line L is parallel to line M. Parallel lines make up many quadrilaterals. So naming some quadrilaterals. Let's start with the one that we all know, a square. A square is a quadrilateral where all sides are congruent. I'm going to denote congruent by these lines here, which means that all sides are the same. Of course, every angle in a square is also a right angle. So here we would say all sides congruent and all angles, just going to note angles here, are right angles. Next we'll have a rectangle. Like a square, rectangles also have all angles as right angles, but they do not necessarily have the same sides. So we would just say all angles are right angles. A rhombus looks like this. It's more of a slanted square. Like a square, all sides are congruent. But clearly, all sides are not 90 degrees. A parallelogram is probably going to contain some parallel line segments. So let's say that these horizontal lines are parallel and these vertical lines are parallel. And in a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel. Next we have a trapezoid. In a trapezoid, exactly one pair of sides is parallel. An isosceles trapezoid, since we already know that a trapezoid has exactly one pair of sides parallel, we should see at least one pair of sides parallel. And based off of our definition from isosceles triangle, we should remember that isosceles meant that there were two congruent sides. So here we would have these two sides are parallel, and these two sides are congruent. So a trapezoid where non-parallel sides are congruent. So we have both one pair of sides are parallel and one pair of sides are congruent. Not the same pair. And the last quadrilateral we'll show is a kite. Something you see on a nice summer day at a beach floating above the ocean. The kite has one pair congruent of the same length and another pair that are congruent of a different length. So there are two pairs of adjacent sides where the sides in each pair are congruent, but the pairs have no side in common. So let's just write two pairs of adjacent sides. I hope you enjoyed learning about quadrilaterals.